4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
you came with like horrific headaches and brain fog, and you just felt horrible. And my recollection is that as we were treating you, it seemed like some of your problems were, even though you had improved, we hit a wall because you were too much under stress.
Yes.
And I asked you what your stress was, and your stress was because your daughter had extreme tantrums and explosive behavior, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So then I think I suggested you bring her here.
You did.
And I'll tell you that part of the reason why I'm doing this is because years ago, I remember treating somebody who did not get, actually it was the reverse. The mom was coming for severe depression, and her kid was just off the wall, wild. And then after I got her depression better, her kid happened to be in the room and
Was
kid was
okay.
calm.
Yeah.
So the interaction, the stress that occurs in the family has powerful effects on your health too. So then we saw your daughter and found that she had a gluten sensitivity. That was one of the biggest things, right? And once we were able to, it took us a few months to really get that clear, but once you got off the gluten, things changed dramatically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain what you noticed?
Yeah. So to your point, I felt like I was the guinea pig. I was having my own issues, which is why I came here, because I was hitting a wall in all the other outlets. So this was like my last resort coming to see you. And I felt like if you could help me, then you could help her and my other two children who are having
okay.
similar challenges. So once we determined that Charlie had a sensitivity, within a few months, the tantrums decreased, her aggressive behavior decreased. We weren't seeing broken, things weren't broken all over the house. Things were a little bit more stable.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie also went through a lot of different medication changes as well, which I think helped too. But when Charlie's exposed to gluten, within 4 hours, we can tell, because she reverts back to that behavior where the aggression is out of control. She's throwing things around. She goes through this extreme high where she's very aggressive, out of control, and then within an hour, she comes down and she's emotional, she's crying, she's kind of unstable in a way where she's just not sure what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that time and again, right, Char? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
So it's really within 4 hours after exposure that we see this extreme aggression, and then this woe is me, why am I doing this? Where am I?
So one of the things that if you start looking up things like that, the psychiatrist labeled this as intermittent explosive disorder. That's one possible diagnosis. They also sometimes just say there are all sorts of labels, but it's really she's not the only patient I've treated with this. It's a simple reversible condition if you can find the cause, and in her case, her cause was gluten. So I just wanted to, and you even noticed too, right? You notice within 4 hours you feel pretty bad. Yeah. But so the problem is that it's hard for people to figure out, because if you just have to have a little exposure every day or every few days, and you're never clear, so additional exposure is not as obvious as when you're completely clean, and then you get an exposure, right?
Yeah, so with Hunter, we for a while weren't seeing any changes with him because he was sneaking gluten at school at lunch every day. And there was this constant challenge with him, and why is this happening? Why is this explosiveness happening?
I use this analogy. If you have a white piece of paper and you have 1,000 pieces of dirt on it, and you throw another piece in there, you can't notice. So if you're only just sort of partially gluten-free, you won't notice that getting extra gluten is that big a difference. So people say, hey, I'm fine with gluten, it doesn't do anything.
Right.
But you have to be perfect for a while. It takes about 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is it okay with you if we post this on whatever social media, internet?
Okay with you?
All right, good. Thank you.
Sure.